The unit is a kindergarten writing unit, and it incorporates science standards and reading standards. It also includes an opportunity for the students to produce work using technology. For example, building a PowerPoint or using an iPad to video an explanation of what they've learned. We are going to start with writing today, okay, kiddos? And we're going to talk about this really big word, and some of you already know it. We're going to write about, we're going to learn information from a book, okay? So what is the really big word that I want you to remember? Information. Can you do it with me? Stretch it out. Information, okay? If I want to learn information, I wonder what would be a better book. Do you think I need a fiction book or a real book? Can you raise your hand and tell me if you know what a real book is called? Giovanni, what do you think? Nonfiction. Nonfiction. Can you say that for me? Nonfiction. It means it is not fake. The reason this book is fiction is because the butterfly is talking. If a butterfly flew up to us and said, "Hello, I'm a butterfly," would that really happen? No. Okay. So when we look at information today, we're going to look at nonfiction books, and I bet you have an idea of what we're going to talk about today. Butterflies, we are. And I'm going to read this book to you, but before I do, I have a question for you. We begin the unit with a hook, you would say. So we're trying to get the students' attention and get them excited about what we're going to learn. Okay? I want to know, how is a writer like a scientist? First, I need to know, what is a scientist and what does a scientist do? I see lots of hands up. I want you to be thinking about, what is a scientist? Giovanni, can you tell us?
A scientist is a person that's really smart.
They're very smart, and what do scientists do?
They know a lot about animals.
They know a lot about animals, and how did they learn?
First they got to learn watching the animals in the everywhere. And if they want to learn about frogs, they just look for frogs.
Oh, I'm thinking of a big word that we talked about, because Giovanni says that scientists are looking and watching. Raise your hand if you know that big word that scientists do. They look and they watch.
Observe.
Scientists observe. That is very smart. Now that we know what a scientist is, I am going to invite one of my kiddos to come to the front to become a scientist. Brian, would you like to come up? Okay, come on up, buddy, and let's see what we can do to make Brian a scientist. What could we use? Some goggles. Scientists need goggles. And while he is looking at objects to learn information, he's going to use a magnifying glass. Brian, we have our actual caterpillars here that we are keeping in our classroom. Boys and girls, I want you to watch Brian and tell me what Brian is doing to be a scientist. What is Brian doing that's like a scientist? Adrian?
He's observing.
What is he observing?
The caterpillars.
He's observing the caterpillars. What does that mean?
What is moving?
Listen, let's listen to what Adrian says. Looking carefully. Brian, can you listen? Let's listen. He's going to listen. There's lots of ways we can observe. We're going to watch for changes. And you know what else we should do? If I want to know how to take care of these caterpillars and help them grow into butterflies, I could read what? A really big word. I need to read information about them so that I can do that. Can you clap for Brian? Brian, that was awesome, buddy. Thank you for your help, Brian. You were a great scientist. Within each writing unit, we have rubrics that we use to assess the student's writing. So before we actually plan the unit and look at how you want to teach the unit, I typically look at the rubric first. This is the end result. This is where I want my kids to be after I've taught this unit. This is where I want them to be successful. In the beginning of the unit, we use a graphic organizer, and it's divided into 3 parts for the schema section, what we have learned, and misconceptions component. So at the beginning of the unit, we're just brainstorming. What do you know about this topic? What do we think we already know? And the students will actually tell me what they know, and I'll dictate it and write it on the sticky note and place that on the graphic organizer. And then the next component would be actually research. This is what we think we know. So now let's do our research. Let's watch a nonfiction video or read a nonfiction book and find out what really is true about this topic. And as we go through that process, I teach the students how to use a sticky note and remember the information that we want to. Our idea, Giovanni, is butterflies stretch with, help me. What do they stretch with? Their wings. Okay. The first word on our paper is what, Brian? Butterflies. Can you help me? Can you say that? Butterflies. And the next word is stretch. Let's see if we can hear the sounds in stretch. Listen to Miss Rhodes say it. Stretch. Leo, what did you hear? What's the first 2 sounds? S and a T. Did you hear those sounds? Stretch. Let's go ahead and make sure we have a S T for the word stretch. Sit Lolly, do you hear something at the end of the word stretch? Stretch. Can you use the wall to help you? Where do we hear the ch sound? Stretch. A C and a H. Awesome, sweetie. Can you give me a high five through the air? Good job. Stretch. Butterflies stretch with their wings. Excellent. I'm going to take my note and put it up on the poster so that we remember that we learned this information.
It is a challenge to teach students who are acquiring English how to read and write in English. And Miss Rhodes does that very well by helping them build background knowledge. If it's a word that they aren't familiar with, she has pictures, she has objects. They may taste foods. She uses a program called Jack and Jilly that teaches them sight words so they can recognize those in text. And all of these things build their confidence.
All right, boys and girls, we are working on taking notes about what we have learned about caterpillars. And now I want you to do it. To show, can you say it with me? Show what you know. I want you to show me what you have learned about caterpillars. Do you think you can do it? Can I get a big head nod if you're ready? Okay, so we're going to go back and look through and make sure that we remember some things that we have learned. I'm going to close the book, and I want everybody to think about some information that you have learned from our book. And I want us to write it on our sticky note, okay? Today, I learned that, can you look up big and tall right here? You're going to get to show me what you know in just a minute, but right now, I want you to watch Miss Rhodes do it first. Parker, can you watch me, buddy? You ready, Mr. Brian? Here we go. This is what I learned today. I'm going to think about the story that I read and what do I want to write about. What sound do you hear?
Bossy R.
You hear bossy R? No way, Brian. High five through the air. He heard bossy R. What do you think? A-R or E-R?
E-R.
E-R, I agree. Flies. You're still looking up here. I don't want you to work on yours yet, Morgan. So if you're working on yours, can you wait just a minute? Have. Is that a Jack and Jilly word? Have. Is that one of our words that we know? Have. Let's see. I'm going to look under the letter, can you help me? Under the letter H, let's look for have. H-A-V-E, excellent. H-A-V-E. Butterflies have wings. That's what I'm going to write today. Wah. Everybody help me. Wah. Ing. Ooh, I hear it. Ing. I-N-G. And I'm not going to forget, Brian, what goes at the end of my idea?
Period.
A period. Everybody put a period in your hand for me. Good job. That is my writing goal. You're exactly right, to remember a period at the end of my sentence. This is Miss Rhodes' idea that butterflies have wings. I want you to take a minute to write something that you have learned on your sticky note, and I might come around and see what a good job you're doing. Sound out your words and think about what you'd like to say. As far as in the note-taking process, I'm teaching all the writing skills that encompass kindergarten writing standards. So when we are reading the nonfiction text and trying to dictate or write a sentence about what we've learned, they also are having to think about, how do I spell this word? How do I sound this word out? How do I write a sentence? Okay, boys and girls, now that we have taken our notes on what we have learned about butterflies, it is time to show what you know. It is your turn to be the writer. Can you raise your hand if you are a writer? Where are my writers? I should have everybody's hand. We are all writers in this classroom. Are you a writer, Leo? I think you are. It is time to go to our tables and get started. Let's have the purple table go. Purple table, can you get ready with your pencil?
The classroom environment in Miss Rhodes' class is very safe and orderly, yet it's fun. It's a very engaging environment. Children are challenged, but they're not sitting and listening to the teacher talk all the time. They're interacting with one another. They may be getting small group instruction, but it's highly engaging.
I make sure I keep a checklist, and I make sure that I conference with every student every week. So if I'm at the purple table, then I'm going to make sure tomorrow I move to the green table, and if a student wasn't there that day, I'll be sure at some point that week that I meet with that child and have a conferencing time with them to look at their writing and work together. Can you raise your hand if you're all by yourself today, my independent writers? Blue table, excellent. You are my independent writers today, okay? I want us to use words around the room, sounds to help us if we need them. If we are finished with our writing, do we say, I'm done? No. What are we going to do on our papers, boys and girls? Can anybody tell me? Oh, let me hear Adrian. Maybe work on some more sentences. Sit, Lolly, what else? Oh, add some pizzazz. Daniela, what does that mean?
Put more detail.
Put more detail in your writing, okay? Let's go ahead and get started, kiddos.
Miss Rhodes.
Yes.
Look,
And if they don't have help, then they need to sound it out.
Oh, that's using what? Stretchy snake. They're going to sound out words they don't
do
know.
I do this one?
I think you're ready to start your picture. Can you let me listen to Eric while you work on that, and then I will help you? Does that sound good?
Can I cuddle?
Of course, of course. Brian, I'm going to work with, yes, you're ready. Eric, can you read me your sentence before you illustrate?
Caterpillars make cocoons and they stay there for a long time.
Excellent. I want you to tell me, how did you spell this word? Can you spell it for me? Tell me the letters.
M-A-C-E.
M-A-C-E, make. What made you put the E on the end of the word make?
Because the word's make and you need the sneaky E to pinch the I so it can make the word make.
So sneaky E pinches the vowel. And
And it says A.
Makes it A. Does that make that vowel long or does it make it short?
Long.
It's a long vowel because the word ache has the long vowel sound. That is so smart that you remembered sneaky E. I am very impressed. Can we check the writing goals, Eric? Let's look at the writing goals. You are working on making people talk, or characters talk in your story, aren't you? But since we're writing about information, can we make our caterpillar talk? Can we make the butterfly talk? No. Can you look at a goal that you could make sure that you have on your paper? What's one of our goals that you can tell that you have already done on your paper?
Period.
You have a period, can you show me? You have a period at the end. Do you have a capital letter at the beginning? Amazing. I want you to go ahead and illustrate, okay? I think you're ready. So when the kids are speaking with each other and they're helping each other, I want to establish what is acceptable and what is not from day one. This is how we talk to each other. This is how we listen to each other. And we're all friends. We're all here together. And I think the kids, when you treat them the way that you want them to treat each other, it sets the stage for the environment in the classroom. Jasmine, can Brian and I look at your paper with you? Brian, ask her which one you would like to read. Can you ask her?
Which one would you like to read?
She's going to read the first one to you, so you read it. You read it to Brian, and let's see. Stretch. Help her stretchy snake it. Can you help her? Ooh. Hey.
Lay eggs carefully.
Brian, what did you notice? What did she do on her paper? What does she have?
They lay eggs.
They lay eggs. What else does she have?
Carefully.
Carefully. They eat leaves, don't they? The caterpillars eat leaves. Look at her. Look at our goals. What are some things that she has on her paper? I want you to tell her what she has done. Notice.
What have you been done?
Can you show her? Can you tell her? Let me try first. You know what? I see you have finger spaces between your words. Brian, can you tell her what else? Look at the poster. I notice she has finger spaces. What do you notice that she has? Soraya, you're doing great. Keep working, okay? What does she tell her?
Where's words?
No way. Show me one. She's using word wall. Are you? What letter would this be under on the alphabet? Let's turn and look. What letter? It would be under T, and I see it. The word is they.
I knew it.
I knew it too. Excellent job. Is there anything you think Jasmine could add to her picture? Some pizzazz? What could she do?
Where's that some pal?
Some pizzazz. Tell her, what could she do?
Color it.
Tell her.
You could color it.
You think you could color it? That's what Brian thinks you could do to your paper, okay? You're doing an awesome job. Brian, let's see if you can get another fact down, okay?
Am I going to write it right here?
I think so. I think you have, count them for me.
1, 2, 3.
Got it. All right, well, let's get started on your last fact. Drink. Let's stretchy snake it, ready? Do you see if you see the sound? Can you come with me? Come on, let's go see if we can find it. Okay, you're looking for drink. So we know we're looking for the sound, but do you see per, fur, gur? What do you think for drink? Do you hear the show me the hand motion. Drink. Oh, it's excellent. You ready for it? The peer review process, the students are it can happen in multiple times in this unit. So they can help each other, as I said earlier, on the carpet, even just when they're talking together, when they're buddied up and their hands are together and communicating, they're helping each other there. But a big component would be at the end when they've completed their writing and they're finished. And that's a great opportunity for them to pair up with a peer in their classroom and have the student read their work to someone, to a member in their class. All right, buddy, let's look at Morgan's paper. Morgan, can Eric buddy up with you? And let's read your paper together and see if we can find some awesome things on her paper and maybe some things she can work on. Can you talk to her about it? Let's go ahead and read it to him. Can you read it to him?
Butterflies have wings. They have wings.
What do you think? It's the what? Eric, what do you think?
The same.
So we could, what should we try to do with Morgan? What can Morgan do?
She can put, they have 3 legs.
You could say they have 3 legs. What else? Butterflies have wings. What do they do? Ask her. What do they do with their?
They fly.
She told you, didn't she? So let's see what we could do to fix your paper. What could we do? They
Have
instead of have, what are we gonna say?
need wings. She can do, they have wings to fly.
You can add more words. Let's do it, Morgan. To fly. How many more words are you gonna have to add?
To fly.
To fly. Eric, what does to sound like on our word wall? Sounds like moo.
But the word is to
Excellent.
fly.
Now, Morgan, do you remember what your writing goal is?
Finger space.
Eric, her goal is finger spaces. Check it out. Can you use your finger and see on her paper?
Yep.
It's a pretty good one. They.
Good. Good.
Amazing. Is there anything we could add to this sentence, Eric? Could you help her? What is something we could add? They have wings to fly. What does she need to add?
A period.
A period at the end would make it perfect. Morgan, I have noticed that every time you write now, what are you doing?
Finger space.
You want to change your goal? You want to change it? Let's go take it off and change it. Because every time you're doing it, let's go do it. She's going to find her name. Do you see it? And take it down. Okay, let's see. We're using finger spaces. Do you know how to use word wall words? Back here, I keep a writing goals poster in my classroom, and the students actually have their name posted on different writing goals. And so the buddies would walk up to the poster and look at where they would be on their goal and look at the work that they've produced and say, my goal was finger spaces between words. Well, let's look at your paper and see if we did that. The presentation component is the most exciting part for the kids. They feel the ownership, they feel the excitement, and they're proud of their work. So to me, to get the students excited about writing and want to produce good work, you have to have that component. Okay, boys and girls, we're going to go ahead and stop where we are, and it is time for a presentation, okay? So this is what I want to see. I want to see papers on the table, and I want you to push them forward to the middle. Pencils and crayons in your box. Well, you're going to get to hear a presentation. And we're going to stay in our chair today, kiddos. Sit Lolly, would you like to come up for your presentation? Okay, boys and girls, it's time for Sit Lolly's presentation. Can you clap for her? Come on up, Missy. Sit Lolly, let's see if you can open your PowerPoint. Give it a double click. There we go. And you can go ahead and go to the front. Now, kiddos, while Sit Lolly is talking, we want to make sure we are what? What do we want to make sure we are doing? Looking and listening. Sit Lolly, I'm going to go ahead and play it for you, sweetie. Tell us the title of your presentation. Okay, can you tell the kids? Face this way and tell them. And who is the author? By Sit Lolly. Presentation process, when they have completed their work and they're ready to present, I think that it allows for all the different abilities to show in different ways. So you might have a child that is really not writing and not ready to form sentences because they don't have a strong phonics concept or a strong word knowledge. But for them to go to Google or any type of program on the computer and produce work, pull a picture that they learned and put it on a PowerPoint, it gives them the opportunity to shine, to feel successful. Where they might not always feel successful in other subjects, it gives them a chance to feel that success. Okay, boys and girls, Sit Lolly has a question for you. Let's listen to her question.
How do they get out from their cocoon?
Sit Lolly says, how do they get out from their cocoon? Anybody have an idea? Okay, raise your hand if you can answer her question. Daniela knows. Oh, I have some kids at the green table. Jose knows. Daniela, what do you think?
They stretch their wings out.
They stretch their wings out. Did you research this? Okay, let's see what she found. Sit Lolly, what did you find? Can you read us the sentence?
They stretch out with their wings.
Excellent. What does she have at the end of her sentence? A period. Very good. Raise your hand if you can tell me something that she did to add pizzazz or something that she did to add detail. Adrian, what do you think?
The moving picture.
What about the moving picture?
It tells you how they get out.
It actually shows you. Is that why you chose that picture, Sit Lolly? Let's give Sit Lolly a hand. The student presenting her PowerPoint at the end of the video, the student had written, they stretch with their wings. And you will notice that all of the spelling was not correct. She, for the word with, she had W-I-F. And that is inventive spelling. And I want her to know that that's the sounds that she heard when she sounds out the word with. I didn't correct that because she is phonetically sounding out the words that she hears. As she progresses as a writer, then I might try to show her that the sound that she's hearing is the th at the end. We pronounce this word with, and we'll find the TH blend from the wall in the room and eventually model for her how to spell correctly. Can I have a helper tell me, what did you learn about how a writer is like a scientist? That is a very big question. Let's see who can do it. Daniela?
Books and they're really smart.
They read books and they're really smart. Excellent. So Giovanni, how is that like a writer? If scientists read books and they what, Daniela?
And they're really smart.
And they're really smart, how is that like a writer? What does a writer need to do?
Read.
A writer needs to be able to read. And can they have fun? Can a writer have fun? I think so. We can write to have fun, and we can write to what?
Learn.
To learn. Excellent.